Before we get started, here's a few highlights from today's game.
Good pitch on the chain.
That's a shot toward the corner. That's got some carry, might go. That's out of here. Home run for Austin Meadows. First pitch, Randy Arozarena gets into this one and drives it out.
And the 0-2. Swing and a miss. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Got him. Skied into left center field. Going on the run is Gardner. And he makes the play.
Look at that big gap in left center field. And Brett Gardner closing.
Get your comments ready. Here's Derek with the post-game reaction.
Yeah, that was not good. This is about the most listless I've seen the Yankees in a few years. Lori C says low lights. I agree with you. This was pretty bad. Domingo Germán roughed up once again. Let me just go through my notes for the game. I'll tell you what, that seemed like it was about 10 hours of baseball. When the Yankees are playing with that low of energy, it's tough to even get up for the game. That was just no fun. That was no fun. So before the game, Tyler Wade sent down. Rougned Odor, who they recently traded for, was called up. Aaron Judge and Gio Urshela returned. Judge did pick up a base hit today. And judging by the swings from Aaron Judge today, I'm going with Dan Rourke's theory that he was sore from the shot that he got from his COVID. And that it's not an oblique issue because he was turning on the ball. He ripped one to left field. He fouled off a couple that, he had really good aggressive cuts on. So I don't think it's an oblique issue. By the way, do you know when they abandon a ballpark and they move to a new stadium like the Rays are going to do in a couple years? They always blow up the old stadium, almost always. I remember the Seattle Kingdome. They blew it up with dynamite or whatever, and it just collapsed into a big thing of dust. I'd tell you, when that happens with Tropicana Field, I'm just going to watch that on loop for like 3 hours because this stadium is it's just awful. It doesn't get worse than Tropicana Field. Aaron Hicks actually looking better from the left side of the plate today. He ripped a base hit. He also had a couple of really good at-bats where he took some close pitches. So I think Aaron Hicks is rounding into form. Germán, obviously, home run in the first. Didn't get out of the gate great again. He showed a pretty good changeup today. He did have 5 strikeouts in his 4 innings, but he hit too many bats. You can't give up 8 hits. And look, Domingo Germán is making me look bad because I projected him to go 20-6 with a 2.62 ERA in my preseason prediction. Just going off of his spring training, I fell victim to the rookie mistake. I believed what I saw in spring training. I believed his good stuff. And he just was terrible once again. His stuff wasn't bad, but he just missed too many spots. You've got to have better command of the baseball. Let's get back to the offense a little bit. Way too many pop-ups, especially Gleyber Torres comes to mind. He popped up twice. There was a season where Wade Boggs popped up once all season. There was a season where Nomar Garciaparra didn't pop up all year, didn't break a bat till August. The Yankees are swinging with too much of an uppercut. I mean, they're trying to launch the ball and create power and create launch angle. The way you create launch angle isn't to swing to try and drive the ball out of the ballpark. It's to hit the ball at a different spot to hit it out front. You want to hit it out in front of the plate, right? If you hit it out in front, it's like hitting a golf ball. I don't know how many of you play golf. If you set the ball back in your stance and you hit it, you're going to hit it low. It's going to be a line drive or it's going to skip. But if you put it up in front of you, you can get more air under the ball. That's the same principle with hitting a baseball. If they're trying to hit fly balls, they just need to hit the ball out front a little more and not just try and create launch angle by swinging for the fences every time. Gleyber Torres is hitting the weakest pop-ups. It looks like he's trying to hit a 500-foot home run every time. Dude, you're a middle infielder. Get on base. Look at what the Rays did. The Rays take what the Yankees give them. If they put a guy on base, they're not trying to hit a 3-run home run. They're trying to slap the ball up the middle, use the opposite field. And I liked what Giancarlo Stanton did yesterday, where there was 2 outs and there was runners on scoring position. I didn't do a post game yesterday, but I wanted to mention this. he took a fastball away and just chopped it through the right side. And I promise I see your comments. I'll get to it in a second. Right now, I just got to get through this rant real quick. I feel bad for Chris Archer. Chris Archer is a local kid, North Carolina. I always enjoy watching him pitch. He left with tightness in his forearm in the top of the third. Let's see. Oh, also, the defense didn't really help Domingo Germán too much. There was a ground ball back to him that he probably, if he had stabbed it, the runner wouldn't have scored, but he kind of knocked it into right field, so it's kind of his own fault. You're supposed to let your defense handle that. You've got the shift put on. DJ LeMahieu's going to eat that ball up if you let it get by, but he went after it, and it's reflexive. It's kind of like when pitchers reach with their bare hand to try and catch a ball. You see a ball coming back at you at 80, 90 miles an hour, it's in your instinct to try and catch it, right? How often do you have baseballs coming at you and you just stand there? It's an unnatural human instinct to just let it go by. So I don't blame Domingo Germán for that. I just wish it had worked out better. Adames took a hit away from Urshela in the fourth. Urshela ripped it, but Adames made a great play at shortstop. That just shows you what a great shortstop can do. He saved a run there. That changed the game. Urshela made a nice play on defense, but he also booted one. And I just miss having a really good, slick defensive shortstop. Judge, hard single to left. I mentioned this early. Good sign. He pulled it. I think tomorrow I want to see Judge at DH. I want to give Stanton the day off. He's played 2 days in a row at Tropicana and has not injured himself. He's not on the IL. Let's bubble wrap this guy and ship him on to the next city because I want to get him out of here without getting hurt. Judge, if you just DH him, tell him just, hey, do your thing, big boy. Take it easy. Don't run on the field. And then you put Clint Frazier out there in right, maybe. Get Gardner, who had a nice day out there in left. Hicks swinging the bat a little bit better today. He can be out there in center field. I think you will see Rougned Odor tomorrow. Why call him up if you're not going to play him? So we'll see. I mean, maybe Gleyber Torres just needs a day off, right? But if you give him a day off, maybe he sits around and stews a bit. But I honestly think he needs a day in the cage to get rid of that uppercut. Also, Johnny Lasagna. Jonathan Loaisiga looked tremendous today, once again. And Luis Cessa. I'm going to eat my words on Luis Cessa, too, because in my preseason roster thing, I said that, how is Cessa still on this team? But he's looked really good. He's really impressed me so far. Wearing the NYY Recaps hat today because the Yankees just, I threw my hat across the room, and I noticed the thing was starting, and I didn't have a hat, and I didn't want you to see my bald head, so I went and got my Yankees hat. All right, so that's it. Let's talk about some other things. Joseph Meninga says, this is the strangest Yankees team I've ever seen. I have to disagree with you, Joseph. I've seen the Yankees play this exact same way for a few years now, and it's incredibly frustrating. Dating back to like 2000, I mentioned it on my last stream, they seem to be a home run or nothing team, and it's just terrible. Let's see. FG says the Jay Bruce experiment looks like a failure. Well, I mean, he's not going to start anyway once you get Luke Voit back in the lineup, but I wouldn't be opposed to seeing DJ LeMahieu play first base. Maybe a shift Gleyber Torres over to second base. Maybe you start Rougned Odor at third base, and maybe you give Gio a day at shortstop. Just see how that looks on the turf, where you're going to get, turf hops, and you don't want Gleyber screwing one up. Maybe you do that tomorrow, and that is a way to get Odor in the game, get Jay Bruce out of the game. To me, Jay Bruce's swing just doesn't look like it has much thump. I mean, he just looks like he's swinging late on pitches and not squaring things up, and he just doesn't look like he's driving the ball like we've seen him do when he was younger, but he's getting older. Let's see. Felipe says, I'm getting so pissed watching these Yankees game. I have to agree with you 100%.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Griminator says, why would we trade for Odor when we have Dietrich? Odor has a lot more power than Dietrich. And Dietrich really hasn't done much since the Yankees got him. He didn't hit in spring. He's not playing in games right now. So, I don't know. Chibuze says, let's clap for Stanton making it through the Trop with no injury. Jesus Chavez says, what do you think of Loaisiga being a starter? I think the issue with Loaisiga being a starter is he's so small of stature. They've tried it before. You start piling on those innings, I don't think his body's going to take it. I like him in the position he's in right now out of the bullpen. He seems to be in a good rhythm. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Edwin NG says, Yankees' approach to hitting is terrible. I agree with you. Too many home run hitters. You need more complimentary guys. I grew up watching the Dynasty Yankees, right? In 1998, the Yankees won 114 regular season games. The team leader on the home run. Anyone want to take a stab at who it was? Just off the top of your head? Tino Martinez. You got to figure, he hits 45, 50 home runs on a team that good, right? Nope. 28 home runs. I liked it when Joe Torre compared it to the Celtics, where, nobody's got 40 or 50, but everybody's got 20. I like teams that have power, but I want more Gio Urshela's, and I want more guys like Clint Frazier who can use the whole field. I know Clint Frazier's off to a slow start, and less guys trying to. And I mean, honestly, it's not even that I want different guys. I just want our guys that we have to take different approaches. I like Luke Voigt's approach at the plate. He has a massive amount of power, but he's got a very direct to the baseball swing where he's up there trying to hit the ball hard somewhere, right? And if it goes out of the park, it goes out of the park. If you have the right launch angle, you hit the ball in the right spot, you're going to run into some home runs. But to go up there and try and hit a home run every time, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. There are guys that can do that can go up there and try it. Mark McGwire, right? He was built differently. But I'm sorry, Gleyber Torres, you're not Mark McGwire. Gleyber Torres is one of those guys, and I love Gleyber Torres, but he's just changed so much as a player since he moved to shortstop. He's trying to be young A-Rod. Only problem was A-Rod was a great shortstop, and A-Rod could hit for both average and power. Gleyber Torres needs to shorten his swing. He's taking that big leg kick. When he had 2 strikes, he used to drop the leg kick and just try and slap the ball somewhere. Right now, it looks like with 2 strikes, he's still going for the downs, even down a few runs. That doesn't make any sense to me. You need base runners. It's not a home run hitting contest. It's a baseball game. It's a baseball game. You've got to find ways to score when you're not hitting home runs. And right now, it looks like the ball is not traveling the way it has been. So you got to find a way to get around that. All right, let's go to the next comment. Sorry for that little rant there. I think I saw Patrick in here. This team is lifeless. Stems from the manager. By the way, Amy says, hey. So I'm going to go ahead and agree that the lifelessness, the lack of aggression, the lack of emotion. And look, I don't want to jump on the Fire Boone bandwagon, especially not after, 8 games? Something like that. But I've never been a huge Aaron Boone guy. I think he goes with the analytics too much. And I don't think he's hard enough on his players. I want a manager who's going to scare you a little bit. Right? I know that some managers like Joe Madden can be your best friend and it works out for them, but, it's a different group of guys. I feel like some of these guys need a good hard kick in the ass sometimes. So, hey, look, I don't know. Lori C has a point, home run or bust and no home runs, and it just looks bad. When you take that approach at the plate to try and hit home runs, and it doesn't work out, it just looks bad. I see that Jesus Sanchez super chatted, but I can't find his super chat. So I'm just going to give it a quick look real quick. Sorry for the delay. I always try and put the super chats on the screen. I don't see it. Jesus, if you want to send that through again, I'll pop it up there. Roger Kramer, New York Walking Dead. So I actually just started The Walking Dead again. I watched until the main character, spoiler alert from 3 years ago, Rick left the show. And then I figured that was a good time to stop, but I just restarted it. And I need something to finish up with after I finish Parks and Rec, because I don't know how much more of this Yankees crap I can take. Jesus, go ahead and send your thing again. Chavez. Yankees Highlights says, dude, this game sucked for the Yankees. That is a understatement and an astute observation. Yoavis Antenza says, Story. I assume he means Trevor Story from the Toronto Blue Jays. Here's the issue with Trevor Story. He's another right-handed bat. I feel like the Yankees have enough right-handed bats. I feel like they need more left-handed hitters. And I know some people have mentioned Seager, but he's going to demand a big contract. He's also had another bit of an injury history, but I think he's the perfect player for the Yankees. So I just don't know what to. I don't know what the solution is. I honestly feel like I wish Brian Cashman would have accepted my invite to come on this show, because I want to ask him about roster construction. I want to ask him about the philosophy of just putting monsters up there. The Yankees, just to borrow a phrase from a writer that was in an interview on the Ken Burns baseball series, the Yankees' strategy has been to put 3 men on base and get Godzilla to the plate and hit one into Tokyo Bay. Only problem is they don't have any Godzillas right now. Swayner says, thoughts on a midseason story trade? I just don't see it. I don't see it. I don't think that's going to happen. Yankee Studios says, let's get Joey Wendell. You know, Yankee Studios, I was saying during the game when I was watching this, he seems like the type of guy that I would love to see on the Yankees, like one of those old school type of, just a baseball player, like Brett Gardner. We're watching Brett Gardner right now. Even though I get on Brett Gardner sometimes when his swing gets a little bit too home run centric, he's a baseball player. He takes pitches, he runs the bases well, he can play good defense. He'll have a tough at bat in a tough spot. Who could forget that game against the Indians in the 2017 American League Division Series? Bench Bruce, call up Dietrich and Odor, and Torres is garbage. He needs a couple of weeks off. Let's use Urshela at shortstop. So I agree with you with using Urshela at shortstop. I don't think Torres is garbage. I think he's off to a slow start, and I think he's starting to mentally fight it. I agree with you on Bruce. I think Bruce is a lost cause at this point. Chibuze says, would you trade for a Seager or a Story? Honestly, it's hard to say who I would trade for, because you have to know who you're giving up. Right now, if the Dodgers came to me and said Gleyber Torres for Corey Seager straight up, I'm pulling the trigger on that deal. Even though I'm giving up a few years of control for Gleyber Torres, I just think that Corey Seager would be a better fit for the team. But the Dodgers wouldn't make that deal. The Dodgers wouldn't want to do that. So I don't see it. Yankees 2021 says, bring Davey up. I think you give Herman another chance. I think you give him one more shot, because his stuff looked better today. He started to come around towards the end. He did have 5 strikeouts, but again, you can't be serving up 8 hits in 4 innings. Danny C says, Yankees should sign Derek Levandowski. To do what? Maybe carry the spit buckets? I don't know. Mia Tag says, go A's. Hey, look, fans of opposing teams are welcome here, and I admire your passion for baseball. I love baseball. Yankees 2021 says, we got to trade for a pitcher ASAP. I disagree with you there. The pitching has not been the problem. The problem is the offense. You got to score runs in baseball. And I think Domingo Germán's going to be fine. THG says, get rid of Germán. I think he's going to be fine. I do. He was coming around at the end of this game. I thought his stuff was good. Just too many bad pitches. And that's a product of not having pitched in stressful situations for a long time. Big Steeler 69 and Kitty says, this was unacceptable. I agree with you. This was a bad loss. 2 in a row at the Trop. The Trop is just such a nightmare. Do you think we should blow it up? I don't think the Yankees need to blow it up. The pitching staff, look, Garrett Cole is one of the best pitchers in baseball. Top 3 pitcher in baseball right now. Corey Kluber, you don't know. I mean, he had 1 bad start, 1 pretty good start. I think he's going to be fine. I think Corey Kluber is going to be fine. He's going to have, look, even a Cy Young award-winning pitcher will lose 7 to 10 games a year, right? So I don't think we should get down on guys after 1 or 2 bad starts. Corey Kluber, he had a bad start yesterday, but he had a couple of double play ground balls that got booted. Defense didn't help him. That extends the inning. Bad start. Domingo Germán struggled with his command a little bit, but Jordan Montgomery looked outstanding last time. Let's see how he does tomorrow. If he has a good start, everybody's feeling a little better. We'll still be under 500, but, assuming we hit and score some runs tomorrow, I think Jordan Montgomery is a really good pitcher in this rotation. And then we've got some guys on the horizon. We've got Davey Garcia. I think he's going to be a good pitcher. Clark Schmidt, all indications are that he's going to be a really good pitcher. I'm not convinced on him yet until I see him fix his command issues. And I want to see him get past these elbow issues. But the pitching is okay. The bullpen is really good. Nick Nelson got roughed up yesterday, but nobody else on the bullpen has really been hit hard all season. Chapman with that splitter is looking unhittable this year. The pitching, I think, is okay. I don't think you need to go out and trade for a pitcher right now. The issues to me right now are Gleyber Torres is sucking bad. He's sucking bad right now. And I love Gleyber Torres. I want him to get it together. I promise I'm not hating on Gleyber Torres. The problem is also the approach. We got too many guys swinging for home runs and not hitting them. If you're going to swing for a home run every time, you got to run into a home run once in a while. So, all right, this rant is over. I went 5 minutes longer than I planned to, so appreciate everybody for stopping by. I'll see you next time. This episode is brought to you in part by Vector Travel. Visit bookings.vectorstays.com and enter the code NYY Recaps at checkout to get 10% off your next stay. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It helps other Yankees fans find the channel.